There are moments when history speaks to us. This is one of them. My dear friends, President Trump and the people of America, today the United States celebrates 250 years of independence, 250 years of freedom, 250 years of defending freedom. On behalf of the people of Israel, I wish you all a happy and joyful Independence Day. My friends, this 4th of July carries a special meaning for me personally. Exactly 50 years ago, as America celebrated its bicentennial, Israel carried out one of the greatest hostage rescue missions in history, Operation Jonathan in Entebbe, Uganda. More than 100 innocent hostages were brought home alive by our courageous soldiers. One commander did not, my brother Yoni. He gave his life so that others could live. This is what the brave soldiers of Israel and America have done again and again in these 50 years. And 50 years later, we are still defending freedom. We may live in different continents, but there's a strong bond between us because we have one destiny. We know that freedom is never cheap. It must be continually purchased. It must be continually defended. America has been the greatest force for liberty the modern world has known. Israel is proud to stand beside her. Israel is proud to stand beside all of you. Because our alliance is built not only on shared interest, it's built on shared values. Today, those values are under attack. The tyrants we face chant, "Death to America, death to Israel." They think freedom is weak. They think democracies are weak. They're wrong about our two democracies. Because when America and Israel stand together, freedom stands stronger. Together we defend freedom. Together we defend our common civilization. Together, with God's help, freedom will triumph over tyranny. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless Israel. And may God bless our great alliance. Happy birthday. Happy Independence Day, America.
Heat stroke! Yeah, you do heat stroke! Oh, you've been to the gym! How you sweat! I'm
Don't mean to cramp you up here, sir. Ready for this food? We ain't getting no AC. I got in the camp. We're gonna die in the camp again.
America will never be a communist country. There has never been anything like us anywhere on earth, and we are not going to let anyone take that away. Yet as we approach this magnificent anniversary, we see our American identity under a renewed attack. A generation after we fought and won the Cold War against the menace of communism, there is now a resurgence of the communist menace in our land, including from newcomers to our country who embrace ideas totally opposed to our way of life and our great success. These are not mere political disagreements like differences over taxes or regulations. Communism is a mortal threat to American liberty. It is the greatest threat to our country, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, or even 9/11. We're not going to let this happen to us. Believe me, we're not letting it happen. Because communism is the enemy of free people everywhere in the world. Never works. It's the enemy of the Constitution. Above all, it's the enemy of July 4th, 1776. It is the enemy indeed. Even while the radicals and extremists attack our incredible history at every turn, they are silent on the miserable history of communism itself, because it never worked. Thousands of years, if you look at it, under different names, under somewhat different ideologies and systems, that system has led to more death and destruction than any system ever tried. It killed 100 million people just in the last century alone. Communism is the exact opposite of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's death, tyranny, and the pursuit of evil. The godless communist morality states that anything is justified to bring about inhuman visions and to really propose what's good. They don't want good. They don't love God, and they don't want God. They don't love religion, and they don't want religion, and they won't have it. But we will not let them win. They have no chance against us. They have no respect for law, justice, principle, tradition, or your God-given rights. It's an ideology of mass theft, mass control, mass lies, and mass murder. Such doctrines can be given no quarter in a democracy, because the first thing they do when they get into power is turn around and destroy it. It always is destroyed, just as communists have done in other countries all over the world, no matter where you look. Very simply, communism represents the worst ideas and abuses in history by the worst people. The American founding represents the best ideas and traditions in history by the best people like you. You can be loyal to Karl Marx, or you can be loyal to America. You can be a communist, or you can be a patriot. You cannot be both. As for those who peddle Marxist lies about our heritage, tell our children that we live on stolen land, or that our heroes were oppressors, they're doing something much worse than slandering our past. They are slandering and attacking our future. Not going to let that happen. They're trying to tear down the great American character, to destroy the people who declared independence, who crossed the Delaware, who settled the West, and conquered the skies. You know who those people are. But we will never let that happen. Our American ancestors did not shed their blood at Concord and Trenton, Gettysburg and Shiloh, Midway and Normandy, just so that a band of thieves, radicals, and lunatics could come in and loot, pillage our nation. Our heroes died to win, build, and to save, and to build truly a great country, the greatest country ever in the world. So on the eve of this 250th anniversary of American heritage, we resolve and swear for all to hear that the citizens of the United States of America will vanquish communism quickly. Don't let them take too much of your time. You know they're wasting your time, don't you? But we're not going to let them take too long or too much of our time as they play their games and send them into exile. We will send them quickly away, and we will continue to build our country bigger and better and stronger than ever before. America will never be a communist country.
Tracking a big surge in ICE arrests nationwide. A source familiar with the operations telling NBC News ICE has averaged about 2,000 arrests per day from Friday to Tuesday. That's really up from the previous average of about 600 a day. What's behind this, Julia, and why now?
It's interesting. First, ICE has a lot more money. When they did big arrest operations last year, it's because they had the support of Border Patrol and a lot of the DOJ agencies. Now ICE is able to carry this out on their own, but you're not seeing the roving patrols that you saw in streets like Minneapolis and Chicago early this year and last year. A lot of times these are people who they have targeted, they know where they are, and they're going out and arresting them.
Okay.
But they're ramping this up. They're putting more of their people out on the street. They've hired a lot more people with this money they got through the big, beautiful bill. And Stephen Miller is putting more pressure on the White House. There was a sense that they cooled down a little bit after Minneapolis, after the fatal shootings of 2 Americans there and the protests that sparked around the country. Now there seems to be a sense that they want to get the numbers back up, but not in a way that's going to cause as much visibility and as much blowback as they had earlier this year. And at the same time we're learning about this, there's new reporting that we've heard about as well from others, including the Associated Press, that Trump is preparing to spend $46 billion on a smart wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. What's different about this is it's in areas where there wasn't as high of a wall before, and not only is this high, like the wall that we saw constructed under the first Trump administration, it will come with new technology and sensors to allow Border Patrol to know who might be coming. During this administration, during this term, there's been a lot of emphasis on people who are arrested in the interior of the United States, but this is money that was allocated by Congress explicitly to focus on the border. And even though in some areas of the border, constituents there are saying they don't want the border wall, in places like Big Bend, Texas, for example, this is money that was allocated, and DHS is still pushing to spend it.
Frustrations are rising in Venezuela as the death toll from last week's powerful twin earthquakes continues to go up, while the search for survivors grows more desperate. Fewer people are being pulled from collapsed buildings, and survivors say help is too slow. National Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez says the confirmed death toll has reached 1,719, with more than 5,000 injured and nearly 16,000 displaced. Among the dead are 3 Americans, according to U.S. officials, while 12 more Americans remain missing. Venezuela's latest government tally shows nearly 200 buildings completely flattened and several hundred more severely damaged. Experts told Reuters the disaster was likely made worse by years of poor building code enforcement, weak licensing practices, and infrastructure neglect. And as they've yet to excavate many of the collapsed buildings, the United Nations coordinator in Venezuela says organization is preparing for the death toll to rise significantly.
At least 2,500 structures affected, most of which fully collapsed. So we are definitely looking at a number that is higher than the one already reported. I can give you a proxy indicator. We are procuring, and this is something that has been agreed with the authorities here, 10,000 body bags.
Meanwhile, relatives of the more than 100 Venezuelans deported by the U.S. government just hours before the quakes are searching for their loved ones after a hotel they were staying in, which was in the hardest hit state of La Guaira, collapsed. Officials say some of the 146 deportees, which included 19 women and 7 children, made it out, but many remain trapped under the rubble.
Fears a deadly strain of the bird flu has reached New South Wales, with a sick bird found on the state's mid-north coast. Let's go live to Lauren Evans in Sydney. Lauren, authorities are waiting the test results.
That's right, Lizzie. Testing is underway to confirm the severity of this suspected case found near Hawk's Nest on the mid-north coast. If the tests come back positive, this would be the first case of this deadly bird flu in New South Wales, following detections in other parts of the country, particularly Western Australia. The New South Wales Agriculture Minister Tara Moriarty spoke to the media yesterday. Take a listen to what she had to say.
It's a suspected case at the moment. We don't know yet if it is the worst strain.
The Minister, however, is urging people in New South Wales not to panic. Buy eggs as you normally would, buy chicken as you normally would. She says, there is no evidence yet to suggest that the disease has spread to commercial poultry flocks. Lizzie.
Lauren, thank you.
Bird flu has crossed over to the nation's east coast this morning, with testing now underway to determine if an infected bird is carrying the deadly H5N1 strain. For more, I'm joined by Today medical expert Dr Nick Coatsworth in Canberra. Dr Nick, thanks for your time. This now appears to be a coast-to-coast concern. Can you break it down for us why this strain is so deadly?
Ali, this is now a real animal and biosecurity emergency, potentially, if this bird proves to have the highly pathogenic avian influenza. And I think the thing is, it's a particular type of strain of H5N1 or clade that seems to be able to transmit extraordinarily easily across migratory bird populations and into mammals. So you end up with this situation where, you know, endangered species could be under threat. We've already lost tens of thousands of seals down on Heard Island last year. And so whilst it's really not much of a threat to you and me, it's a significant environmental and ecological threat, and it just proves how quickly these viruses can spread, not just amongst humans, of course, but when they get into animal populations.
Do we have enough preventative measures in place to help defend our natural wildlife?
Well, the great thing about Australia is that we've got wonderful biosecurity measures. We've got a very strong agriculture and biosecurity department, but there's only so much you can do. I mean, these are migratory birds. I think, you know, we've got good advice out there. Certainly for humans, for us, we shouldn't be going and handling sick birds at the moment. I think our poultry farmers are sort of well supported here, but ultimately, if this spreads within our local bird populations, there's going to be some significant issues.
And just very quickly, Nick, I imagine there might be some people who are thinking about panic buying this morning. What is your message to them?
Oh, well, I hope no one's thinking about panic buying. What, panic buying eggs or maybe? But certainly nothing else. Certainly nothing reminiscent of COVID, Ali. This is a concern from an environmental perspective, but not a human health perspective.
All right, Dr. Nick Coatsworth, thanks for your time.
The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo continues to escalate, with confirmed cases climbing to more than 1,500 and at least 473 people dead, according to government figures. Infections have been recorded across the eastern provinces of Ituri, North Kivu and South Kivu, as health authorities race to contain the virus. The Bundibunja strain has posed a particular challenge, spreading undetected for weeks, while officials were testing for the more common Zaire strain. It currently has no approved vaccine or treatment, but there is renewed hope after clinical trials began this week for what researchers believe could become the first effective treatment for the virus, offering a potential breakthrough as the country battles one of its deadliest health emergencies.
The Mumbai and its extended suburbs are reeling under some relentless monsoon rain, with widespread waterlogging disrupting normal life across the financial capital. The low-lying areas in Matunga, Juhu and Vasai remain completely inundated. Several roads have been shut by the authorities and several local train services have been affected. A red alert has also been issued by the Indian Meteorological Department. And for cities such as Mumbai, Thane and other suburban parts, there is a warning of heavy to very heavy rainfall over the course of the next 24 hours. In the last 7 days, 3 people, including a child, lost their lives due to the incessant rains. The Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has urged the residents to stay indoors unless it is absolutely necessary for them to step out. Fadnavis said that the state government has now directed emergency service agencies to remain on high alert and respond swiftly if the problems arise. Now, the government as a precaution, has also shut down schools in the city. Now, despite the poor visibility, rough seas and continuous rain, the Indian Navy has carried out a successful medical evacuation of an injured seafarer from the crude oil tanker off the Mumbai coast. A Sea King helicopter from the INS Shikara airlifted the sailor to shore for the urgent medical treatment, reinforcing the Navy's role as a first responder during emergencies. With heavy rain forecast to continue, the authorities are now urging citizens to remain vigilant and to avoid unnecessary travel.
Jesse.
Oh my God.
Down where he was saying something about making sure we've had his wallet inside for him.
Chado. She, what they also pick up Tundrano, Prakoshe building Nechi. Akosha building Nechi, white car and the white car is moving. The small white car is now moving. The small white car is moving. It's moving. It's moving. The white car is moving. Cars nina.
The Bamcha rescue team! They are Kumchacha area, behind Malam station, behind Malcolm. Please, we need a rescue team. Please, we need an assistance. Some people are dying in their room. The whole place is flooded with water. They are begging.
Las 12:27 de este sábado, 27 de junio de 2026, puedo observar en Del Viso, partido de Pilar, más precisamente en el barrio Villa del Carmen.